Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and I don't know what it is with Humble, but they go from having no bundles for like a month to having like 3 bundles all within a week. It's very annoying. I wish they'd spread these things out more, but such is life. Today we have another Humble bundle of interest to game developers, specifically programmers. This one is the Joy of Coding book bundle, and it's a collection of books from No Starch Press. As a general rule, I like No Starch books, but do be aware several of these were featured in previous bundles. So I was kind of looking at it, deciding, do I pick this one up or do I just show you from my existing library? And there was enough new here that I decided to buy it again. Yes, I always buy these bundles if it's applicable, so I show you what you're going to get. And this bundle is no exception. It's pretty straightforward. Humble have changed the way things work a little bit on their website. So you're looking at the $1 tier here, you're getting 3 books. You're getting Learn You, a Haskell for Great Good, a beginner's guide, If Hemingway Wrote JavaScript, and Closure for the Brave and True. So probably not really interesting to the majority of you, but possibly this one could be an interesting read. But we jump up to the next tier. And this tier, by the way, is priced kind of semi-dynamically. The middle tiers are, but right now it's about $8 or $9 USD. And here you're getting the Rust programming language covering Rust 2018, The Secret Life of Programs, which is actually kind of interesting because it actually walks you through how code actually works, how code interacts with the machine, how compilers work, and so on. So if you've always kind of had a little trouble understanding the concept of programming languages, it could be a good pickup for you. Racket Programming the Fun Way. Truth of the matter is, I know nothing about Racket, so no comment there. Network Programming with Go, The Land of Lisp, and then finally all the stuff you're getting from the $1 tier. Next up, we actually have 4 tiers on this bundle, which is a little bit strange, but this tier looks like it's $15 USD. Here you're getting Effective C, which very much was in prior bundles, so do make sure you check your library. Make sure you don't already own the books. Algorithmic Thinking, Problem-Solving Based Introduction, Understanding the Machine. So this is Write Great Code Volume 1. This kind of is more of a curious how code kind of works kind of concept book, which is interesting again. Thinking Low Level, Writing High Level, which is also called Write Great Code Volume 2. And then we've got Write Great Code Volume 3, which is Engineering Software. So you got 3 books that are more about like high-level programming, overviews, not necessarily language specifics. And then we get Hardcore Programming for Mechanical Engineers. And then you're getting into the final tier, which has probably got the ones that are the most interesting to the game developers in you, because that's the way it always works. And it's actually kind of pricey. We're looking at $30 USD this time, but you're getting 18 ebooks for that price. You're getting Rust for Rustaceans, Computer Graphics from Scratch, Learn to Code by Problem Solving, Introduction to Computer Organization, very strange name there, Effective C, and then I guess Effective C was in the last bundle tier. So that's it. That is the book bundle. Pretty straightforward on the whole. Again, some of these have definitely been in prior bundles, probably the ones that people are most interested in. Rust for Rustaceans for those Rust programmers amongst us, Computer Graphics from Scratch, of course, and then we got a bunch of things that's basically on high level on coding and designing and algorithms and so on. Always kind of an interesting read in that regard. So there's definitely some stuff of interest to a number of people. Do be aware, this is available online free in HTML format. So if this is the book you're coming in for, also check your library because you probably already own it if you're a hoarder on Humble like me. Pretty straightforward bundle on the whole. So you got these 3 Write Great Code volumes, which all could definitely be pretty interesting. The Secret Life of Programs, again, this one goes through the concepts of how actual programs work on the machine, which could be an interesting read for some people that, as we're moving along, like when I started programming, you did something and something immediately happened. So you poked a little bit of data into a particular memory address and then something happened. We're kind of moving away from that. So current programmers probably don't really understand the interaction with the machine because it's not quite as immediate as it used to be. That could be a good pickup there. So a decent selection of books here. Some of them are definitely new to Humble. When I searched my library, for example, Rust for Rustaceans was not there. As I mentioned, I do buy these bundles, let you know what you're going to get, this one being no exception, and you're getting all of these books, every single one, in PDF, EPUB, and MOBI formats. So basically all your e-readers are covered here. And then PDF is basically universal format. You can come in here at any time into Humble and download from your library at will, so you don't have to store these things on your local machine. So, example, PDF, there we go. It's downloaded and available. So you can see their servers are generally pretty quick. So if you want to have a book on demand, boom, they are there. So here is Computer Graphics from Scratch, for example. And yeah, fast loading, fast to grab. Let's go look at the table of contents on this guy, see what kind of stuff we're going to cover. So we start off with ray tracing in Chapter 2. Interesting. Light, shadows, reflections, extending a ray tracer, lines, filled triangles, shaded triangles, perspective projection. Then we get into clipping, hidden surface removal, shading, texturing, and so on. And then we got a chapter on linear algebra, which definitely is useful to people. Algebra is the heart of the maths that you need to know to do computer graphics programming. So we got a bit of a mathematical overview going on in that book as well. I know this is probably the book that a lot of you are probably the most interested in of any of them. But as you can see, they are available on their servers on demand, quick downloads for the most part. As I mentioned earlier on, what you're really going to want to do is come into your library, check your library out here. What you can just do is basically come in and search for No Starch, and then you're going to find, now obviously all these books are going to show up for me because I've purchased them in previous bundles, but check to see that they are or are not already in your library. So again, like I said earlier on, this new Rust book was not here. This Rust for Rustations, that one is definitely new. I think the computer graphics one is at least new to me, but I have seen it in the past. But do be sure to make sure that any of the books that you're potentially interested in aren't already in your library. Just a kind of a standard disclaimer when it comes to Humble Bundle stuff. By the way, on the topic of Humble, I normally start off with this, I forgot to. Organized into tiers, you decide how your money is allocated between Humble, charity, the publisher, and if you so choose, and thank you so much if you do, to support Game from Scratch. Also on the topic of Humble Bundle right now, if you did not know already, there are a handful of under bundles that are of interest. I've covered them on the channel right now. Like I said, Humble likes to really just do all these at the same time. Didn't cover this, but there's a data engineering one. It's a little bit too off topic, but there's the Learn Unity Game Dev TV one and the Best of Polygon Game Dev Assets bundle. These two are very, very good. And we also got a programming bookshelf by Mercury. I didn't bother covering it simply because this one is, first off, it's a dog's breakfast of books. Second, we've had almost the exact same bundle a number of times, and oh, looks like it's almost over anyways. And then another interesting one that came out that I didn't cover because it's not really game development, but it's an interesting read. It's a selection of books on games. Some of them are actually written by the author of said game and goes through a description of how they actually went about creating the games. So this bundle, the Video Game Histories by Boss Fight Books, could be an interesting one to pick up as well. I've read a couple of these in the past. To be honest, they didn't hold my interest quite as much as I thought they would. And sometimes it's basically just a fan writing about the game itself, but a couple of these are actually written by the author of the game themselves and gives you an insight into the creation of those particular games and so on. So it could be an interesting read on the whole. So just to be aware, there's a couple of interesting Humble Bundles going on right now. I really wish they'd spread these things out. These things launch within a couple of days of each other. And then I think this one was on Friday, and here we have another one on Monday. Again, and then we're going to go a month without a Humble. But I try to keep you up to date, latest and greatest, all the world of game development, including game development news and deals. And so, yeah, that's what this video is all about. Let me know what you think of this bundle. Let me know what you think of basically Humble's release schedule on these things. You wish they'd spread them out a little bit more too. And what you think of No Starch Press in general. And yeah, I will talk to you all later. That is it for now, and have yourself a good day. Goodbye.